Welcome to another video of Origins. This video is part of our nicheless series, and will cover the origins of barbers. Make sure to stay all the way to the end for some bonus content. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and be notified. We are posting new videos all the time. And now, let's go ahead with the video. The barber's trade has been around for a long time. In Egypt, razors have been found among artifacts from the Bronze Age, around 3500 BC. In 5000 BC, Egyptians were the first people who cut hair with tools they had made out of oyster shells or flint that had been sharpened. In ancient Egypt, barbers were very well liked and respected. Priests and doctors were the first people who were known to be barbers. Also, the art of barbering was important on many different continents. Shave art was used by the Mayans, Aztecs, Iroquois, Norse, and Mongolians to show who was who in society and in battle. In ancient Greece, men went to a marketplace called an agora to get their beards, hair, and fingernails cut and styled by a man called a curious. The agora was also a place for people to talk, debate, and spread rumors. In 296 BC, the Greek colonies in Sicily brought barbering to Rome. Barbershops quickly became popular places to talk about daily news and gossip. A trip to the tonsure in the morning became as important as going to the public baths, and a young man's first shave, called a tonsura, was an important part of his coming-of-age ceremony. Some Roman tonsors got rich and powerful by running shops that people from high society liked to visit. However, most were just simple merchants who had small shops or worked on the streets for low prices. In the Middle Ages and before, barbers were often also surgeons and dentists. Barbers did more than just cut hair, style it, and shave it. They also did surgery, bloodletting, leeching, fire cupping, enemas, and pulled teeth, which is why they were called barber surgeons. The Worshipful Company of Barbers in London was one of the first powerful guilds made up of barber surgeons. Before surgeons were put on British warships during naval wars, they were not paid more than barbers. Some of the things the barber did were move the neck, clean the ears and scalp, drain boils and fistula, and use wicks to drain cysts. Alliance dissolved. As medicine, surgery, and dentistry got better, barbers were less and less able to be barbers, surgeons, and dentists all at the same time. The surgeons wanted to be completely separate from the barbers, so they asked Parliament to end their long-standing relationship and make each profession stick to its own provinces. The British Parliament set up a committee to look into the situation, and the committee gave a positive report on the petition to Parliament. In June 1745, the alliance between barbers and surgeons was broken up by a law passed by Parliament and signed off on by the King. Two separate companies were made, and the property that the barbers and surgeons used to own together was split between them. Barbers' decline. This was the beginning of the end for barbers. France did the same thing when Louis XIV was in charge. By the end of the 18th century, barbers in Europe no longer had the right to perform any kind of surgery or dental work, except in small towns and remote areas where doctors and dentists were not available. After barbers were told they couldn't do medicine, surgery, or dentistry, they became just mechanics and servants who had to do what was in style at the time. When wigs became popular in the 1800s and early 1900s, barbers turned into wig makers. Their job had lost the respect it once had, and barbers had turned into laborers instead of professionals. Everyone in England, America, and the rest of the civilized world could see the barber's business going downhill. Barbershops became places where people with bad reputations went to hang out. Before a few years ago, barbershops were full of dirty stories, malicious rumors, and all kinds of gossip. A barbershop was a place where men's baser instincts came out and where women would not go. The barbershop of today. Now barbers are making a comeback. Several things are making this trend happen. The most important thing is the latest hairstyles and trends. In the 1990s and early 2000s, there was a market gap for men and women who didn't feel comfortable at unisex salons, which focus more on speed and efficiency than pampering the client and giving good service. As styles change, customers are asking for haircuts that are edgier and more complicated. Men are becoming more metrosexual. This means they have better, more refined tastes, which can be seen in the way they cut their hair and care for their facial hair. And short hairstyles for women are getting more and more popular as more and more women ditch the sexy long hair look and go short. Barbers are in high demand again among both men and women because of these new tastes. And now here is the bonus. The barber's pole. The barber pole's colors come from a, thankfully, long gone time when people went to barbers not just for a haircut or shave, but also for bloodletting and other medical procedures. During the Middle Ages, a wide range of illnesses, from a sore throat to the plague, were often treated with bloodletting, which involves cutting a vein and letting the blood drain out. Monks did the procedure because they often took care of sick people, and barbers sometimes helped because they were good with sharp tools. After Pope Alexander III banned clergymen from doing bloodletting in 1163, barbers took over the task, which doctors at the time thought was important but too simple for them to do themselves. They were called barber surgeons because they did things like pull teeth, set bones, and treat wounds. Ambroise Paré, a Frenchman who lived in the 1600s and is known as the father of modern surgery, started out as a barber surgeon. The red and white stripes on the barber pole are meant to look like blood and bandages, which are used to stop the bleeding. People say that the pole represents the stick that the patient squeezed to make the veins in his arm stand out more for the procedure. In Europe, barber poles are usually red and white, but in the United States, they are usually red, white, and blue. One idea is that the blue represents the veins that were cut during bloodletting. Another idea is that the blue was added to the pole to show patriotism and to pay homage to the country's flag. This was all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. Is there a place or anything you want to know about the origins? Please tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified if you enjoy the video. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching. See you next time.